movies recently. I was prompted for two reasons. One is that I really enjoy the experience of DVDs and Blu-rays, especially with special features. How you can watch a movie and then you can watch these little documentaries they have about the movie. It's all propaganda, but it's still fun. Obviously, having the physical case is fun too. So I'm new to collecting, and I really want to keep my collection limited to movies that really matter to me, or that I have a good reason to, because I don't want to just hoard. But some of them I have not watched yet, so I will have to check them out, and I'm just gonna give them to a thrift store if I want to get rid of them. I actually got a lot of these DVDs and Blu-rays at a local thrift store, which I'm really happy that they have affordable DVDs there, and they're all in good condition. Second reason is that streaming services now kind of have the right to edit movies. Like Amazon, this is silly example, but they edited out like the tentacle scene in the movie Avatar, and now I'm like, okay, now that Amazon can start changing movies, maybe I should have physical copies so I can have them as they were released, you know, because who knows how much they'll start changing things. Okay, I'm gonna get into it, but before I do, remember to leave a thumbs up and to subscribe if you haven't. October is coming up. If you're into scary stories, I'm going to be doing a lot of scary story readings, pure whispers. And if you're not, if you're easily scared, I'm going to be doing a few cute, not scary role plays. So you don't want to miss it. First DVD I'm going to show you is Never Been Kissed, which stars Drew Barrymore. Drew is brilliant, says the New York Post. 8 years ago, she was a total geek. Now, she's back to get it right. Drew Barrymore is brilliant, says again Jonathan Foreman of the New York Post. In this hilarious, heartwarming comedy about that wacky wonderland of homework, hot lunches, and raging hormones known as high school. According to the Boston Globe, it's a triumph, and Roger Ebert says it's funny and big-hearted. I like Roger's opinions. And I loved this movie as a kid. When I was a little kid, I liked little kid movies, but I also liked a lot of like adult movies, especially rom-coms. My dad got me really into comedy. I love Drew Barrymore. I absolutely love her. I freaked out when I saw her in that SZA music video. I was like, Drew, activate stimming. Okay. Now I got my stack here. This is Alfred Hitchcock Collector's Edition Volume 2. And here I've got Alfred Hitchcock Collector's Edition Volume 1. Just a bunch of Alfred Hitchcock films. I believe I'm missing the third. these two I found at the thrift store. And, yeah. It comes with, photo galleries, and then biography and facts and trivia, so I don't think there's like any of the little documentary featurettes, but I used to have a lot of fun with my DVDs, like reading, like, there was, I don't know, I like in the menu when you go to special features, and there's a lot there, just like bios of the actors, and you can read, so that's cool. I have a lot of these left to read. His goofy face. Look at him. Okay, this one you may have seen in my my weird friend roleplay. Which, now that I think of it, he kind of just behaves like an unrestrained version of me, so I'm sorry if I offended anyone by calling him weird. If he reminds you of you. Anyway, Whale Rider. This is a movie from 2003. It's about the Maori people. It's really beautiful. It's amazing, and like it's one of those movies that kids can enjoy and adults. In the ways of the ancients, she found a hope for the future. There's magic in it, says Peter Travers of Rolling Stone. And, a small Maori village faces a crisis when the heir to the leadership of the Donkeykongjacob dies at birth and is survived only by his twin sister, Belle. Although disregarded by her grandfather and shunned by the village people, 12-year-old Belle remains certain of her calling and trains herself in the ways and customs of her people. With remarkable grace, Belle finds the strength to challenge her family and embrace 1,000 years of tradition in order to fulfill her destiny. I have this will to see indigenous peoples reverse the damage done by colonialism and keep their societies alive. And have self-determination. And it is just really great to see narratives like that, and I wish there were more. I feel like in the United States at least, indigenous people largely go ignored. They're given a lot of lip service, and we're taught about historical, pre-colonial or early colonial indigenous societies and what they went through, but we don't talk a lot about how they're still here and exactly how they got into the situation they're in today. And the fact that they're still here and they can, they have a future ahead of them. List, directed by Steven Spielberg. Nominated for 12 Academy Awards. Winner of 7. The film presents the indelible true story of the enigmatic Oskar Schindler, a member of the Nazi Party, womanizer, and war profiteer who saved the lives of more than 1,100 Jews during the Holocaust. It is the triumph of one man who made a difference and the drama of those who survived one of the darkest chapters in human history because of what he did. Stars Liam Neeson, Ben Kingsley, Ralph Fiennes, Caroline Goodall, Jonathan Segel, and Embeth Davidtz. Has some really cool special features, voices from the list, just like interviews of survivors, the Shoah Foundation story. So it's got cool like historical and political stuff on it. It's not just about the movie. Next, this one is interesting. I actually haven't watched this yet. This is called Spirit, the Seventh Fire. Live concert, epic film, Native American dance, Spirit, the Seventh Fire tells the story of every man, a character named Everyman, caught up in the daily distractions of life. Every man is thrown from his cubicle to begin a journey that renews within him the mystery, beauty, and spirit of his ancestors. Every man takes you with him on this amazing journey. The beauty of the dance, music, and film brings audiences of all ages to tears and to their feet. There are pull quotes here. I think they're just from audiences because they're not attributed. The Seventh Fire. I think that's the Ocheti Shakuan people. I think it's the Seven Fires. This was at the thrift shop. It comes with a little, nice little insert with more details on the story. The story begins by surrounding the audience in a pre-contact world. It is early dawn, and a village of teepees appear with fires flickering inside. The sound of crickets and other early morning noises encircle the audience. Powwow singers begin off in the distance. It's a long story. That's the first paragraph, though. During the time of the Seventh Fire, a new people will emerge to retrace the footsteps of their ancestors in search of new ways to live in harmony with one another. So it's like indigenous futurism, which is cool. During this time of rebirth, humanity will find itself at a crossroads and will be given an opportunity to live a spiritual life rather than continue to be distracted by technologies. It is believed that we are now living in the time of the Seventh Fire, and few would deny that we are indeed at a crossroads to make it possible to light the eighth and final fire of peace and harmony. There was a cool episode of a podcast called Revolutionary Left Radio, that's what I was talking about, which is just like, the envisioning of a future for indigenous people. Good stuff. Okay, next movie. I'm gonna issue a warning. Just don't say I didn't warn you. This movie is extremely disturbing. It's called Angst. It just depicts a pretty just realistic depictions of cruelty and murder by a serial killer. It's not sensationalized like a horror film. That's kind of why it's known to be a sort of transgressive film. Angst. Angst is what it's called. This is definitely a movie that, I watched it. It made me kind of sick. I really enjoyed I thought it was beautifully shot, and I didn't think it was a heartless movie. I think it kind of I think it kind of shows the narcissism, the kind of self-absorption of the serial killer mindset, particularly when you think about how our culture glorifies serial killers and murderers, because behind this cruel person doing these things, you really have kind of a pathetic, kind of self-obsessed person. At least when they take pride in their crimes, like Jeffrey Dahmer kind of stuff. Anyway, the crucial home invasion classic, at all times unsettling, says Fangoria. It really is a beautifully shot film. I really loved all the camera work and stuff. There was this interesting thing where the camera is usually either above or below, it's usually not level with anyone. Well, the cover of it is just, of the actual DVD case is disturbing, so I'm not gonna show that. It's just gross. Google it if you want. Based on a true story. It is based on the real-life serial murderer Werner Niesek in Austria, I think. Gross. There is, I have not read this book yet. It's really cool. This is my, I really love, the Blu-ray, because it's I don't know. This is really cool. This is a book insert that I have yet to read. There's the dachshund from the movie. There is no harm done to the dachshund, just so everyone's at peace. It's adorable. It's like the movie had the humanity to put this little cute little dog in there. It's got newspaper clippings on the original serial killer. Pistol assassin. Yeah. I could do a whole video on this book, because people have been asking me for ASMR true crime. It wouldn't exactly be true crime, but I'm not sure how I feel about doing true crime, but it would probably sate that urge. This is really cool. I really need to sit down and enjoy this. This is why I love buying Blu-rays, because they're so usually packed with extra stuff, nauseating movie. It also comes with a cool, little, you can like turn on an intro with Gaspar Noé, who's like, he makes disturbing French movies. I have mixed feelings on him. Oh, this next one is one of my favorite movies. Monster, starring Charlize Theron and Christina Ricci, who you might recognize from the movie Casper. She's the teen girl in the movie Casper. This is a beautiful, it's obviously disturbing, but it's very emotional, and Charlize Theron's performance is like legendary. She won an Academy Award. Roger Ebert says this is one of the greatest performances in the history of cinema. It really is unbelievable, but it's about the serial killer Eileen Wuornos. Yeah. Charlize Theron explodes in a magnetic, Oscar-winning performance. Best Actress in a Leading Role, 2003, as convicted killer Eileen Wuornos. The critically acclaimed true story from writer-director Patty Jenkins, Monster won 18 prestigious awards, including the Golden Globe and IFB Spirit Awards. Actually, funny story when you see the next one, but unfortunately this thing does not, it's a DVD copy. I like this thin case, but it does not have very many special features. It does not have very many special features. It has a little making of thing. Yeah. But I love it because besides that it's just really sad, it shows a couple things. One is the Eileen Wuornos' humanity, because the media was quick to sensationalize her story, call her like the first female serial killer and stuff, and her crimes were terrible and they really destroyed people's lives. But the movie is really about understanding that she's a person. She had a very, very, very traumatizing life from starting in childhood, and I just think when you have a trauma, like a seriously traumatizing childhood like hers, it warps your entire understanding of the world and your entire way of relating to other human beings. And she definitely isn't like a Jeffrey Dahmer kind of thing. She's her killing was different. Anyway, that's kind of the emotional. That's why it's good. And so this next film is Monster, starring Charlize Theron and Christina Ricci, who you might recognize from Casper. And this is a Blu-ray of the movie that I had initially ordered because I want this damn movie on Blu-ray. And I was silly, I got it on eBay, and if you're gonna buy movies on eBay, look very closely at the fine print, because this is I think a German copy, or Austrian, I don't know which country, but it's region locked, so I can't watch it on my PS4 or any other device I'm gonna find in the United States. I was so annoyed. I should try reselling it, but I don't want to go to the trouble of like shipping it to frickin' Europe. But it is a beautiful case, isn't it? Oh, Fuland. I do not know German, I'm sorry. I apologize to a random guy ASMR for attempting German. zombie flesh eaters and banned as obscene. In America, it was called Zombie and advertised with the depraved tagline, "We are going to eat you." That doesn't sound depraved to me. That sounds like kind of descriptive of zombies. Splatter sensation directed by the maestro of gore, Lucio Fulci. That remains one of the most eye-skewering, skin-ripping, gore-gushingly graphic horror hits of all time. I hope that description doesn't, gross you out, wake you up. But yeah, it's a very extravagantly gory movie. Even the makeup and the zombies gross me out. But you know me, I have morbid fascinations, and I've always been good at distinguishing between reality and fiction. So I don't know, there's always a layer between me and the movie, even when it's a really messed up movie or gross or whatever. Yeah, but it's the same principle of, it was a banned film. Something worth having. Because who knows, whether it will be accessible in the same form. Because who knows whether it'll be accessible in the same form, on streaming in the future. Next movie it's a collection of 4 sci-fi creature features. It's got 20 million miles to Earth, the giant claw, it came from beneath the sea, and Mothra. Mothra, I think, is or at least there was a Godzilla versus Mothra kind of thing, I know. But yeah, I actually have yet to watch these, but I am really captivated by the idea of the eldritch, and especially sea demons and things like that. And so especially it came from beneath the sea thing, it's really fascinating. That whole idea just really evokes a lot of emotions in me. I found this in the plastic at the thrift store this weekend. The Deer Hunter, starring Robert De Niro, John Savage, Meryl Streep, and Christopher Walken. 5 Academy Awards. Winner of 5 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Director, and one of AFI's top 100 films of all time. The Deer Hunter follows a group of Pennsylvania steelworkers from their blue-collar lives, hunting in the woods of the Alleghenies, to the hills of Southeast Asia. During the Vietnam War, I think that's an extravagantly racist sentence, but it's because the United States is there, that's why it's the hells. Beginners. A film about a gay old man, which is funny, touching, and altogether extraordinary, says Peter Travers of Rolling Stone. has passed away, Oliver realizes just how much of a beginner he is when it comes to long-lasting romantic love. Memories of his father who, following the death of his wife of 45 years, came out of the closet at age 75 to live a full, energized and wonderfully tumultuous gay life, encourage Oliver to open himself up to the potential of a true relationship. Inspired by writer-director Mike Mills. I thought it said Meek Mill. I was like, what? Meek Mill's dad. But alas, it's an original love story that critics cheer as smart, poignant, and often hilarious. This is 4 movies, like film noir thrillers, not classic film noir, but like film noir from like the 70s up to 1990, including The Hot Spot, directed by Dennis Hopper, which is interesting. I like his acting. The Visitors, The Hot Spot, and Tough Guys Don't Dance, and Exposed. Do that disc wiggle. Let's see. Okay. Next is The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. You know, which is apparently the grittiest Western ever made. Directed by Sergio Leone, starring Clint Eastwood. Sergio Leone's The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is even gutsier on Blu-ray, with a saddlebag full of special features including commentaries, featurettes, deleted scenes, and more. It's the most exciting version of this groundbreaking Western available. The inimitable man with no name, played by Clint Eastwood, teams with 2 gunslingers, Lee Van Cleef and Eli Wallach, to pursue a fortune in stolen gold. But teamwork doesn't come naturally to the outlaws, and they soon discover that their greatest challenge is to stay alive in a country ravaged by war. Forging a vibrant and yet detached style of action never before seen and not matched since, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly shatters the Western mold in true Eastwood style. Clint Eastwood is, like, he's scary looking. I just think he's a scary looking person. During my life, he's only been old, so he's like, as an old person, for some reason I don't find him scary, but he is just like a scary guy. Which makes sense considering a lot of the characters he plays. This one is Kirsten Dunst, The Virgin Suicides. I actually might give this movie back. I don't, you know, it's not my favorite. I get the vibe. It's got that like 90s, 2000s teen movie sensibility. It's just, I don't know, it's not my thing. I really love Kirsten Dunst by Sofia Coppola. Sofia Coppola makes a stunning directorial debut with this powerfully seductive film that has become the most talked about movie of the year. This is the 2000 edition DVD. In the mid-1970s, in a sleepy Michigan community, I think it's like Grosse Pointe, it's one of the like wealthier Detroit suburbs, live the Lisbon sisters, 5 teenagers whose beauty has bewitched a group of neighborhood boys. Isolated by their overprotective parents, they move like fleeting visions against the suburban landscape, luminous and unattainable. It is like a great movie. Sometimes you just like don't like, I don't know. I really like Kirsten Dunst though. I always liked her, but when I saw Melancholia, Lars von Trier's Melancholia, I was like, whoa, I don't know, that's an amazing performance, and I'd never seen her do something that emotional. This movie, The Devil's Rejects, directed by Rob Zombie. This is a good one. This is a good one. This is, it's a sequel to his movie House of a Thousand Corpses, which I actually saw at probably too young an age. I think I was like 11. Funny, my town's library was like 2 blocks from me, and they had DVDs, and I had a library card, and they didn't restrict access. Like, I could check out R-rated films. So in the summer, I would just go to the library and check out horror movies. And I checked out House of a Thousand Corpses, and my sister's brother, because I have sisters and they have a brother with different parents, whatever. My sister's brother and I hung out. We checked out House of a Thousand Corpses and watched it, and I remember being like disturbed, but also like Rob Zombie. I didn't even realize that Rob Zombie, like, that was one of his first movies, if not his first. I'm sorry, I don't know, but then this one is a sequel, and it's more, I think it's better. It's a different animal. Like, it's like you don't have to see House of a Thousand Corpses to understand it, but these are the characters from House of a Thousand Corpses. Yeah, so, ambushed at their homestead by Sheriff Wydell and a squad of armed men, the Firefly family awakens with guns blazing. Yet only Otis and his sister Baby manage to escape unharmed. Taking refuge and hostages in a backroad motel, the wanted siblings rendezvous with their deranged partner in crime, Captain Spaulding, killing whoever happens to stand in their way. But as the body count mounts higher, Sheriff Wydell decides to cross the line and take the law into his own hands, paving the way for one of the most depraved and terrifying showdowns in cinematic history. Yeah. It's perfect Rob Zombie, like, sensibility, perfect, like, schlock. But it's, like, really beautifully filmed. Like, I really like his cinematic decisions, like the Firefly family, like, walking away from the sunset, the shirtless Otis, and the casting, that's Rob Zombie's wife, who appears in a lot of his films as a main character. I love her. It's like funny, it's disturbing, it's like, they're like dark comedies. I actually really I really don't like a lot of Rob Zombie's films, especially his Halloween remakes, because they're very, very long, and he doesn't like, but this movie is very economical. It's like 90 minutes, you know. A lot of his movies would be better if he just like was more economical. But yeah, again, another sort of like gritty film I thought it would be worth like owning a physical copy of. Final movie I have to show you is kind of a bonus. This is Ed, Edd n Eddy Complete Series on Blu-ray. It's a bootleg. You can tell by looking at this absolutely beautiful back cover art that was like stretched in Microsoft Paint and like printed out of a laser jet. And the blurb is like probably copied, pasted from Wikipedia. Ed, Edd n Eddy is a Canadian-American animated comedy television series created by Danny Antonucci for Cartoon Network, and the sixth of the network's cartoons. The series revolves around three preteen boys named Ed, called Double D to avoid confusion with Ed, definitely just copied from Wikipedia, and Eddie, collectively known as the Eds, who live in a suburban cul-de-sac in the fictional town of Peach Creek. Under the unofficial leadership of Eddie, the trio frequently invents schemes to make money from their peers to purchase their favorite confection, Jawbreakers. Their plans usually fail, leaving them in various, often humiliating predicaments. This was like my favorite cartoon as a kid, like the sensibility to it. Part of it is like the no parents, like there's no adults in the show, there aren't the guest characters either. And just Danny Antonucci, he has you should look up all his other work and stuff. Like he actually has made a lot of like adult, not like, he's made a lot of grown-up cartoons, like Adult Swim type stuff. I really think that he should have an Adult Swim show. I'm sure that there's a reason he hasn't. But yeah, so I have two DVDs that are not pictured here. One of them is Resident Evil, the first one, a movie I really like, maybe, in my opinion, the best video game movie I've seen, and Hocus Pocus, which my friend borrowed from her job. Like, my roommate and friend borrowed from her job several years ago, and, you know, never brought back, and I still own it, so they're hanging on my wall. I like put stickies on them and stuck the DVD cases to my wall for decoration, and I didn't want to take them down, so just know that I own those and that I like them. The Resident Evil DVD has a lot of special features I really like, including a really cool alternate ending. Yeah, so I have said this, but I'm a brand new beginner DVD collector. I'm still trying to figure out, you know, how to decide what films I own, what films I give away, what films I buy, etc. So if you're a collector and you want to share your little philosophy on how you like pick films you want to own and stuff. Definitely tell me in the comments. Tell me any other tips, opinions you have as a collector, or just as a fan of movies. Any movies you think I should check out? Any opinions on the ones you've shown me? Are you a huge fan of the virgin suicides? And you wanna tell me I'm wrong? Use inflammatory language, go ahead in the comments. So happy to have been able to share this with you. Little symbols. Hope you are drifting off into a nice deep sleep. And all you gotta do is press this, lock your phone and get back into your slumber. Thanks for